The life and sad ending of Jean Harlow. Jean Harlow, born Harleen Harlow Carpenter, born March 3, 1911, in a house located at 3344 Olive Street in Kansas City, Missouri. Her father, Montclair Carpenter, was from a working-class background. Her mother, Jean Poe Carpenter, was the daughter of a wealthy real estate broker, Skip Harlow. When Harleen was at school, her mother filed for a divorce. On September 29, 1922, the uncontested divorce was finalized, giving sole custody of Harleen to her mother, although Harleen loved her father. In 1923, the 34-year-old Jean Carpenter took her daughter and moved to Hollywood in hopes of becoming an actress, but was told that she was too old to begin a film career. Harleen was enrolled at the Hollywood School for Girls, where she met Douglas Fairbanks Jr., Joel McCrea, and Irene Mayer Selznick, but dropped out at the age of 14 in the spring of 1925. With their finances dwindling, Jean and Harleen moved back to Kansas City after Skip Harlow issued an ultimatum that he would disinherit his daughter if they did not return. Harleen next attended the Ferry Hall School, now Lake Forest Academy, in Lake Forest, Illinois. During Harleen's freshman year at school, she was paired with a big sister from the senior class who introduced her to 19-year-old Charles Chuck Fremont McCrew III, an heir to a large fortune. By the fall of 1926, Harleen and Chuck were dating seriously, and they were married in 1927. In 1928, 2 months after the wedding, Chuck McCrew turned 21 and received part of his inheritance. The couple left Chicago and moved to Los Angeles, settling into a home in Beverly Hills, where Harleen thrived as a wealthy socialite. Neither Chuck nor Harleen worked during this time, and both were considered heavy drinkers. While living in Los Angeles, Harleen befriended a young aspiring actress named Rosalie Roy. Not owning a car herself, Rosalie asked Harleen to drive her to Fox Studios for an appointment. While waiting for Rosalie, Harleen was noticed and approached by Fox executives, whom she told she was not interested. Nevertheless, she was given letters of introduction to Central Casting. Harleen went to Central Casting and signed in under her mother's maiden name, Jean Harlow. Harleen appeared in her first film, Honor Bound, 1928, as an unbilled extra for $7 a day and a box lunch, common pay for such work. This led to a wage increase to $10 per day and small parts in feature films such as Moran of the Marines, 1928, and the Charlie Chase lost film Chasing Husbands, also 1928. In December 1928, Harleen, as Jean Harlow, signed a 5-year contract with Hal Roach Studios for $100 per week. She had small roles in the 1929 Laurel and Hardy short Double Whoopee, Liberty, and Bacon Grabbers, with the latter giving her a co-starring credit. In June 1929, Harlow separated from her husband and moved in with Mother Jean and Bello. After her separation from McCrew, Harlow continued working as an extra in such films as This Thing Called Love, Close Harmony, and The Love Parade, all 1929, until she landed her first speaking role in the Clara Bow film The Saturday Night Kid. Harlow and her husband divorced in 1929. In late 1929, Harlow was spotted by Ben Lyon, an actor filming Howard Hughes's Hell's Angels. Harlow screen tested for Hughes, who gave her the part and signed her to a 5-year, $100 per week contract. Hell's Angels premiered in Hollywood at Grauman's Chinese Theater on May 27, 1930, and became the highest-grossing film of that year, besting even Greta Garbo's talkie debut in Anna Christie. Hell's Angels made Harlow an international star. Though she was popular with audiences, the critics were less than enthusiastic. In 1931, his Caddo company loaned her out to other studios, where she gained more attention by appearing in The Secret Six with Wallace Beery and Clark Gable, Iron Man with Lou Ayres and Robert Armstrong, and The Public Enemy with James Cagney. Columbia Pictures first cast Harlow in a Frank Capra film with Loretta Young, originally titled Gallagher for Young's lead character, but renamed Platinum Blonde to capitalize on Hughes's publicity of Harlow's platinum hair color. Paul Byrne arranged with Hughes to borrow her for MGM's The Beast of the City, 1932, co-starring Walter Huston. Despite critical disparagement and poor roles, Harlow's popularity and following were large and growing. Paul Byrne was now romantically involved with Harlow and spoke to Louis B. Mayer about buying out her contract with Hughes and signing her to MGM. Then Harlow officially joined the MGM studio on April 20th, 1932. At MGM, Harlow was given superior movie roles to show off her looks and nascent comedian talent. Though her screen persona changed dramatically during her career, one constant was her sense of humor. In 1932, she starred in the comedy Red-Headed Woman, for which she received $1,250 a week. It was the first film in which she, quote, resembles something of an actress. She next starred in Red Dust, her second film with Clark Gable. Harlow and Gable worked well together and co-starred in a total of 6 films. She was also paired multiple times with Spencer Tracy and William Powell. During the making of Red Dust, Byrne, her husband of 2 months, was found dead at their home. This created a lasting scandal. Initially, Harlow was suspected of killing Byrne, but his death was officially ruled a suicide by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. By 1933, MGM realized the value of the Harlow-Gable team with Red Dust and paired them again in Hold Your Man, 1933, which was also a box office success. In the same year, she played the adulterous wife of Wallace Beery in the all-star comedy drama Dinner at 8, and played a pressured Hollywood film star in the screwball comedy Bombshell with Lee Tracy and Franchot Tone. After the hit Hold Your Man, MGM cast the Harlow-Gable team in 2 more successful films, China Seas, 1935, with Wallace Beery and Rosalind Russell, and Wife vs. Secretary, 1936, with Myrna Loy and James Stewart. Harlow was consistently voted one of the strongest box office draws in the United States from 1933 onward, often outranking her female colleagues at MGM in the audience popularity polls. By the mid-1930s, she was one of the biggest stars in the U.S., and it was hoped MGM's next Greta Garbo. Still young, her star continued to rise, while the popularity of other female stars at MGM, such as Garbo, Joan Crawford, and Norma Shearer, waned. Harlow's movies continued to make huge profits at the box office, even during the middle of the Depression. After her third marriage ended in 1934, Harlow met William Powell, another MGM star, and quickly fell in love. The couple was reportedly engaged for 2 years, but differences that ranged from past marriages to Powell's uncertainty about the future kept them from publicly formalizing their relationship. Susie, 1936, in which she played the title role, gave her top billing over 4-time co-star Tone and Cary Grant. While critics noted that Harlow dominated the film, it was a reasonable box office success. She then filmed W.S. Van Dyke's comedy Personal Property, 1937, co-starring Robert Taylor. It was Harlow's final completed motion picture appearance. On May 20th, 1937, during the filming of Saratoga, Harlow began to complain of illness. Her symptoms: fatigue, nausea, fluid retention, and abdominal pain, did not seem very serious to the studio doctor, who believed that she was suffering from cholecystitis and influenza. Unfortunately, the doctor was not aware that Harlow had been ill during the previous year with a severe sunburn and influenza. A friend and co-star Una Merkel noticed Harlow's onset weight gain, gray pallor, and fatigue. On June 6, 1937, Dr. Leland Chapman was called in to give a second opinion on Harlow's condition. Chapman recognized that she was not suffering from an inflamed gallbladder, but was in the final stages of kidney failure. That evening, she was taken to Good Samaritan Hospital in Los Angeles, where she slipped into a coma. Sadly, the next day at 11:37 a.m., Harlow died in the hospital at the age of 26. In the doctor's press releases, the cause of death was given as cerebral edema, a complication from kidney failure. Hospital records mention uremia. Harlow was interred at the Great Mausoleum at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, in a private room of multicolored marble.